Good evening, this is Viewpoint. I'm Zakka. Jacob, there have been CBI raids at the house of Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manisha Sisodia for the last 10 hours now. The CBI is conducting searches in the Delhi excise scam. Manisha Sisodia has been named as the prime accused in this particular scam. The charge against Sisodia is that he changed the Delhi excise policy in 2020-2021 to favor private players, which caused massive losses to the public exchequer. The Aam Aadmi Party is hit back by saying that the BJP cannot match Delhi's model of education or model of health, and that is why this is nothing but purely political vendetta. The question is, will the Aam Aadmi Party come clear on the charges against Sisodia? And to the BJP, why are agencies like the CBI, ED, etc. being used for raids only on opposition parties and not on their own? But first, the story so far.
Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manisha Sisodia declared that a team from the Central Bureau of Investigation had landed up at his house. The probe agency filed an FIR on the now scrapped Delhi excise policy and named Sisodia as an accused. Apart from Sisodia, the CBI also raided former Excise Commission officials in multiple locations.
It was 8:15 in the morning when it all got started, and Manisha Sisodia was the one who informed us, putting a tweet out that CBI officers have basically reached his house and are basically searching the premise. If you can see the activities inside, because we have been told that CBI officers may leave in some time from now, and they are still searching for some sort of documents, some sort of evidences in concern with the excise policy, and the FIR that is registered in this particular case. In that FIR, in fact, Manisha Sisodia is one of the accused.
The BJP lashed out and accused the Aam Aadmi Party of causing a huge loss to the exchequer.
जिस दिन सीबीआई को जांच दी, उसी दिन शराब नीति को वापस लिया। ये शिक्षा नहीं, ये शराब की बात हो रही है।
ये दिल्ली के शिक्षा मॉडल पे खबर छपी है।
But Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal came out in Sisodia's defense and accused the centre of sending CBI to his doorstep only because Sisodia's picture was printed on the front page of the New York Times.
पूरी दुनिया के सबसे शक्तिशाली देश के सबसे बड़े अखबार के फ्रंट पेज के ऊपर भारत के बारे में इतनी अच्छी खबर छपना, दिल्ली के बारे में इतनी अच्छी खबर छपना, इस खबर में मनीष सिसोदिया जी की फोटो छपी है। आज मनीष सिसोदिया को दुनिया का सबसे अच्छा शिक्षा मंत्री घोषित किया गया, लेकिन उसके घर सीबीआई पहुंच के रेड मारने के लिए।
But the BJP countered this by showing that the same news article was printed in the Khalij Times.
न्यूयॉर्क टाइम्स में जो ये आर्टिकल जो छपा है, जिसके आधार पर ये वर्ल्ड क्लास एजुकेशन मॉडल की बातें कर रहे हैं, ऐसा ही हूबहू आर्टिकल खलीज टाइम्स में छपा है, और यहां तक कि फोटोज और वर्ड्स भी सेम हैं।
The new excise policy was introduced in November last year and saw a big jump in private players with licenses selling alcohol. But the Delhi LG Vinay Kumar Saxena recommended a CBI probe, accusing AAP of bringing the excise policy with the sole aim of benefiting private liquor barons. Then on the 30th of July, Manisha Sisodia announced a rollback of the policy.
शिक्षा और स्वास्थ्य के इनके मॉडल को बर्बाद करो, इनके मंत्रियों को गिरफ्तार करो, ताकि केजरीवाल मॉडल बर्बाद हो जाए, अरविंद केजरीवाल खत्म हो जाए। ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सोच है, प्रधानमंत्री जी की सोच।
The CBI alleges that private parties who were awarded licenses included many ineligible vendors who paid bribes to the Delhi government. So are the raids against Sisodia valid, or is it political vendetta?
Okay, let me go across to our reporters first, and then I'll get our guests in. Akash is joining us live from Manisha Sisodia's residence, where these raids have been going on since 8 o'clock this morning. Anvid is joining us from Sameer Mahindru's office, the Indo-Spirit Group. Again, one of the persons who's been accused in this FIR. Let me go across to Akash first. Akash, it's been 10 hours, started at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's 6 o'clock in the evening now. What exactly are CBI folks inside telling you? Have they found something? Have they found any evidence, any documents, any cash from Manisha Sisodia's residence? We've also shared the copy of the FIR with our viewers, in which Mr. Sisodia has been named as accused number 1.
That's right, and just a few minutes back, Zakka, our colleagues were discussing the technicalities of this FIR, but at this point in time, talking about the ground situation, it has been 10 hours, more than 10 hours in fact, and it all started at around 8 and 8:15 a.m. in the morning when we got to know after the tweet by Manisha Sisodia himself, saying that, CBI officers are at his house and he has welcomed them. He is very much cooperating with the kind of, activities they are carrying out at this particular place. But at this point in time, we are learning that these officers are basically searching for the documents and the evidences. No seizure at this point in time till now. And also we are learning that some electronic devices have been taken into the custody by the CBI officers because they just don't want Manisha Sisodia to contact anyone outside this particular premise. Also, if I can ask my camera person to show you the visuals as of now. No officer is visible, but just a few minutes back we saw that officers were actually searching the car of Manisha Sisodia. They took out some sort of documents from that car, in fact, and they took those documents. But at this point in time, since morning we are seeing the war of words between the parties, Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP, over this particular issue where it got initiated after LG recommended CBI probe into this particular policy that was implemented in November 2021. So basically allegations were that Manisha Sisodia at that point of time gave benefits to those who were very near and dear to them, to him, and also violating all those laid norms, rules and regulations. He provided benefits and in fact gave some sort of relaxation to private people. In fact, the FIR, talking about the FIR is mentioning the same thing where a total 16 people have been made accused and Manisha Sisodia is the prime accused in this particular case. We are waiting as to, in some time from now, we are expecting that CBI officers will be coming out and then we'll get to know as to what is being seized.
And they'll have to make clear what exactly is the allegation against Sisodia, what they believe is his role in this entire scam. Let me also go across to Anvit, who's joining us from Okhla outside the Indo-Spirit office. Samir Mahindru is named as one of the accused. Who is this gentleman and what exactly is his role alleged to be in this scam, Anvit?
Yes, Zakka, Samir Mahindru is one of the 16 accused who have been named in the FIR, and we are right outside Indo-Spirit, one of the companies in which he is said to be the managing director, and it was this company, it has been alleged that was one of the 21 locations where the CBI had raided. You can, early morning today, you can see the vehicle of the CBI is still parked here, and the officers are very much inside. The raid is going on. Earlier, as you mentioned, it's been 10 hours, and the CBI officials has been here for 10 hours. The raids are continuing. It is also being said, if we try to connect the links, it is being said that Samir Mahindru had, who owns Indo-Spirit, had paid 1 crore to Radha Industries, which is managed by Dinesh Arora. And Dinesh Arora is said to be a close associate of Manisha Sisodia, which we have also earlier reported. And this company, Indo-Spirit, is also said that it was earlier blacklisted and it managed to get the license only through this channel. So these are the allegations that have been made. However, as far as the CBI officials are concerned, they have not put in any word. They had come out, but we tried to speak to them. They did not speak to us. And raids are, however, on. Security guards have not allowed us to go inside. But as far as what the information we are getting, that when they reached here, the phones and the laptop of the staff that was available here were taken away. We do not know if it has been officially confiscated or they are only being scanned through. But CBI, however, is yet to put any words. But as we know, that raids are still continuing. It's been close to 10 hours.
Okay, Anvit and Akash, thank you very much for joining us. So 10 hours plus now, and the raids are still continuing. Let me now open this up to our panelists. We'll also get more breaking news through the course of this program. But Shazia Almi, national spokesperson of the BJP, joining us. Priyanka Kakkar, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Abhishek Dutt, spokesperson of the Congress Party. And N.K. Singh is former joint director in the CBI. Priyanka Kakkar, let me start with you first. If the AAP was so convinced about this new liquor policy, please explain why Manisha Sisodia made a one-time waiver of 144.36 crores to private players who are part of this liquor cartel. And why is it that if this policy was so successful, within 8 months, the same Mr. Sisodia came out in a press conference on 30th July and scrapped this policy? Priyanka Kakkar, that question is to you, ma'am. All right, we've lost that link with Priyanka Kakkar. Let's try and see if we can re-establish that in a moment. But Shazia Ilmi, you heard Kejriwal coming out today and saying that just this morning, New York Times has put out a front-page article about Delhi's education model. And today, you are raiding the Delhi education minister because you're jealous of the Delhi model.
Well, be it as it may. So I'm not such a huge fan of New York Times. And it seems Kejriwal has no other newspaper but New York Times and Khalij Times to print his advertorial. because there are two similar articles written by the same person, sponsored by the two newspapers, more like an advertorial. So, and I don't see the connection. I mean, he's tried very hard to pull this one, but I don't see the connection between the school bit and the excise
No,
policy.
what he's saying is you arrested Satyendra Jain. Delhi was known for its health model, and now you're preparing the ground to arrest Manish Sisodia. He's the education minister. So both of these models, you're putting a spoke in the wheels.
No, as for Satyendra Jain, he's been in the jail for a while. And do you know why he's been in the jail? Because there is a reason why he's in the jail. He's talked about getting money from the shell companies, which had done no business at all. And Satyendra Jain was not able to answer as to how he could get that kind of money. And we're talking about crores here. And of course, being the PWD minister at that point of time, there was a conflict of interest because all the land that he bought from wherever he did and the land parcels, there was going to be metro services around there, so there was a complete conflict of interest.
No, that's an old case. Let's talk about Sisodia. What exactly is the allegation against Sisodia?
So everybody knows about do you want me to send you the allegations and the notice that Excise Department sent to him a few months back? I can send it to you again, or I can read it out
Shazia,
to you.
You are the BJP spokesperson. It's my job to ask you the question, and I guess it's your job to explain to the viewers who are watching this, the people of this country, what exactly is going on here.
No, I don't think it's my job to explain why Mr. Modi is jealous of Kejriwal. As for the Excise Department's notice is present in front of everybody. So if Kejriwal were to say that as Mr. Modi and you are jealous of my success and my model, I was supposed to honor it with a response.
No.
I just find
Anyway, you are free. Like I said, the viewers are free to decide whether they are convinced by your answers. But I'll leave that to them to decide. But I want to ask Priyanka Kakkad, very pointed question. You are saying that, this new excise policy was revolutionary and so on and so forth. A, why did you revoke the same excise policy in 8 months? And two, can you please explain, ma'am, why a waiver of 144.36 crore was made to private players who are licensees in this policy? What was the need for making such a waiver? Can you explain where that 140 crores went?
Yes, Zakka, I'll give answers to both the questions, but my request to you also will remain that subsequently you will also ask the BJP spokesperson, why is there no investigation ever on such reports when we hear in Gujarat there's an illicit liquor business running into several thousand crores, when when the drugs are caught of 60,000 crores at Mudra port, or when people die when they drink spurious liquor in a state where alcohol is
Sure, but
banned.
answer my question, ma'am, please. Answer my question.
Yes, I'll answer your question, Zakka. Your first question is that why did we withdraw it? Zakka, we had to withdraw it. As you will see the FIR today, officials have been named. Officials have been named, and no official or no government official wanted to be involved when the central government came so heavily with these fake allegations. It is tough to, nobody wants to get into an auction now. आपने सारे अधिकारियों को नेम कर दिया, कौन सा अधिकारी कौन सा वेंडर घुसना चाहेगा?
मैम, इसमें से जो 3 अधिकारी है, 2 ऑलरेडी रिटायर हो चुके हैं. That's not a reason for why you revoked the policy.
No, we had to withdraw it because there was nobody who wanted to. Now the vendors also withdrew. There are only 250 vends of liquor in Delhi today. The excise policy mandated 850.
Yes.
And then there were about 648 that were open. Then with all of this that happened, the CBI, the ED, the police, constant harassment, the vendors shut shop.
Ma'am, the vendors shut shop because it was not profitable for them to run the business. That's why they shut shop.
Yes, because they were not being allowed to run the business in the way they had to. I'll tell you also what happened is this 144 crore figure that the BJP is falsely claiming. Let me say it on record. The BJP wants all the parties to be branded as corrupt like them. And that is why they've brought out these allegations.
No, ma'am. Do you have a specific answer for this 144 crore? Where did this 144 crore go? Why was a waiver of 144 crore given to these private players?
I do, Zakka. So the answer is simple, that there was COVID, then there was odd-even scheme. The vendors were supposed to give a license fee, which they were not, which they had given it in writing that they will pay that license fee, about 9,500 crores, something to the extent. And because there was COVID, the dukan were shut, and then there were limited
Liquor shops
timings
were
that they
open
could
during
run.
COVID.
They went to the court, sir. Please.
Ma'am, this
check.
excise policy came into
70%
existence
you charge them extra.
after
What is
liquor
she
shops
saying?
were open after the
Yes,
lockdown.
but they had given it in writing.
This policy did
They
not
had
come when
given
liquor
it in
shops were shut.
writing. Zakka, they had given it in writing that they'll be paying this license
What
fee, and they
what
went
is
to
she
the
saying?
court. And
Okay.
the court asked us to see what is a midway. Similar thing happened with
I got a
NCT.
piece of breaking news that's coming in. Abhishek, just hang on. I'm coming to you. Sources are now saying that searches are still on. The evidence, whether it's the documentary trail, whether it's the money trail, whatever has been recovered from Manisha Sisodia's house today will be analyzed, and only then will the people named in the FIR be called for questioning. The decision on whether there needs to be custodial interrogation will be taken if and when, during the questioning, it is felt that the accused are not cooperating. The case is currently off the paper and money trail. It requires further technical investigation. Arunima is joining us with more details on this. Arunima, let me try and see if we can go across to Arunima. So what they're saying, what the CBI sources are saying, is that right now it is a search operation. What is happening right now are raids. They're trying to recover documents, paper trail, money trail, to see what exactly happened in this new excise policy and what is the loss that's been caused to the exchequer. Arunima is joining us live. Arunima, do we have any details, any information on what is it that they've recovered so far? The searches have been going on for the last 10 hours.
I think we'll have to wait till the searches get over before we know what is it that they have found. Prima facie, what they are looking for are papers to substantiate the allegation that money exchanged hands. How did the money exchange hands? People who got the liquor licenses sent money to bank accounts of middlemen who themselves are into the liquor business, and through them the money reached into the accounts of public servants. That is the essential charge that CBI has made in its FIR. And in these searches at the residence and premises of public servants as well as that of private individuals, those are the papers they're looking for. They're looking at bank account detail paper. They're looking at digital devices to see if there are any digital trails that they can find. These days, often conversations happen on WhatsApp. So personal phones, personal devices of all the accused will be scrutinized. It will be a lot of technical investigation as well. And therefore, it could take time before we know exactly how CBI is going to find evidence to put together what it has alleged in its FIR so far. But they're saying that their searches are still on. Accused number one in the FIR is Manisha Sisodia. Searches are still on at his premises. And once the searches are over, once the analysis of the papers and the digital devices are over, a call will be taken whether questioning is needed, whether the accused need to be confronted with each other, and then the further course of investigation will be decided.
Very quickly, there are obviously two parts to this investigation. One is, did this new excise policy cause a loss to the exchequer? That's one part of it. So did public money get wasted as a part of this, because of this new excise policy? So the second one is whether the proceeds of a crime, in this case an alleged crime, whether the proceeds of that crime came back to these 14 people, or the people who've been named, including public officials and, of course, the Deputy Chief Minister. How does the CBI hope to link these two?
So to answer the second question first, they've already given us some sense of how they're going to put together that money trail. They're saying that at least in one case, evidence has come up that 1 crore rupees was transferred into the account of public servants through these middlemen who were then facilitating granting of license. So that is how the money trail is being established. And they're clearly saying that pecuniary benefits, illegal gratification reached the public servants. For question number one, whether this was indeed a loss to the exchequer or not, I think it will also take a lot of auditing skills, and that part of the investigation could take time. But prima facie, because the charge that has been made is Section 7, which is a charge of bribery under the PC Act, and Section 477 and 120B of IPC, that is criminal conspiracy. We'll have to wait and see if through the course of the investigation, Section 13 and 15 of the PC Act, which is about causing a loss to the exchequer, is also added.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Thanks very much, Arunima, joining us with those details. Abhishek, you were one of the first people to come out and claim that this was a massive scam, that this whole excise policy was changed to aid private players, and those private players, your allegation was, were in turn paying off the Aam Aadmi Party funds through which they fought elections. Now my question to you is, it's been 10 hours since these searches began. We don't know, as of right now at 6:15 p.m., we don't know what has been recovered by the CBI. More importantly, the proof of the pudding is going to be on whether the CBI can prove a money trail the money that these private players were waived off, that money then found its way back to these public officials?
Zakka, there are three things which are very important to be discussed in your debate today. One is the whole liquor policy being conceptualized during the COVID lockdown, when people of Delhi were struggling to get oxygen and beds, when every family had a loss due to COVID. Arvind Kejriwal ji was drafting a policy to benefit a very major section of the liquor mafia. This point we've been raising from day one. I still remember the date. It was in the month of April, May 2020. I personally visited his house and gave him a letter requesting that you're doing a cabinet decision to increase 70% in liquor sales in Delhi. Kindly include 1 crore compensation to the Safai Sainiks of Municipal Corporation who are dying on duty during COVID. Till today, he's not received a single amount. I'm not getting into that. Priorities of Arvind Kejriwal ji. From 2012 to 2020, before the Vidhan Sabha elections, he was very clear about the liquor policy in Delhi. That Swaraj bill has to be followed. Local Mohalla Sabha has to be discussed. Any person opposing this policy, any group of women opposing the policy, the theka would be shut. But what has he done now? Every nook and corner of Delhi had an alcohol shop. Non-conforming areas, residential complex, mandir, masjid, gurdwara.
Abhishek, let's not beat around the bush. I'm asking you a specific question. Where is the corruption? Where was public money looted? It's a simple question.
You named a company called Indo Spirit right now?
Yes.
Did you name Indo Spirit?
Yes, correct. Named in the FIR. I didn't name it. It's named in the FIR, yeah.
Yes, Indo Spirit. Just check the supplies of Indo Spirit. I had released some photographs in the morning. You've named a person called Dinesh Arora. I have released photographs of Dinesh Arora in personal capacity sitting with Arvind Kejriwal ji and Manisha Sisodia ji. Amit Arora. Who's Amit Arora? Amit Arora is the person who's got 7. These people personally got involved with the Delhi government, and I will tell you the policy change. Reducing the age of people of drinking age in Delhi from 25 to 21, allowing nightclubs and bars to be open till 3 o'clock, reducing the number of dry days from 23 to 3. Okay. What was this policy made for? It was made keeping in mind the liquor sales in Delhi to be increased. And was it part of the Aam Aadmi Party election manifesto? Never ever they spoke about
Priyanka,
it.
respond to that. You changed the excise policy. It was not just about favoring private players, but you also changed the timings. You also changed the age limits. All of this, Abhishek and the BJP both are saying that this was done to favor private players. And this was not part of your stated manifesto, by the way. Liquor policy was never something that you promised here to the people of Delhi. Let Priyanka respond.
Thank you, Zakka. So first, I'm not very clear about what the Congress's stand on the issue is, because I was just in another debate 5 minutes before this one, and there the Congress spokesperson said that the agencies are being used and this is vendetta politics.
अपनी बात बोलो ना.
मैम, आपके पार्टी के बारे में बोलिए ना.
अपनी बात बोलो ना. आप कांग्रेस ज्वाइन करनी है, आपको आप आ जाओ.
ओके, कांग्रेस इज अ कंफ्यूज पार्टी, वो तो ठीक है, वो ऐसे ही है. मतलब आप आपके पार्टी के बारे में बोलिए ना. मेरा सवाल जो है उसका जवाब दीजिए ना, प्लीज.
No, Zakka, 1 second. How can you call us confused?
No, 1 second, yaar. Why are we diverting from the issue? I asked her a specific question. You asked her a specific question. Let her respond to that. Let her respond to that. Yeah, Priyanka.
So I'm not clear about the stand of Congress anyway, but even then, that is the reason why they are what they are today. But since they have brought it up, he mentioned opening of 850 liquor vents. That is not.
I didn't mention that.
Then he mentioned that.
I didn't mention that. I didn't mention that.
I heard you patiently. I understand
don't give wrong statement, Priyanka.
No, 1 second, Abhishek, let her finish. No. Fact is that 800 odd liquor vents were open as per this new policy, right? Okay, why did you have to increase the number of liquor vents? And that too, I think half of those were private players. Why did you have to do that, Priyanka?
So there are right now only 250 liquor vents, and most of them shut shop because of this vendetta politics, because they were not allowed to operate, because we could not allot the 100% a plot of land that was assured to them. They were allotted 60%. They had to be refunded the amount. The 144 crore that you speak of is all of this refund, is all of this that they went to the court and we had to give it back to them.
One second. What were you refunding them for? I didn't get it. What was the refund for?
From what I know, Zakka, that they went to the court, they asked for the refund on 2-3 bases. One was that they were not able to operate as per timings. For example, the timings, I'm forgetting, Abhishek ji, the timings that Abhishek ji mentioned, those timings are also not operational right now, Abhishek ji. Be honest. These liquor shops
because you've already passed a proposal, your proposal has not been cleared, but you've already cleared it in the cabinet. What are you talking about?
No, I'm not sure what this waiver was for, but to have 144 crore waiver for private players in the middle of COVID, I don't know if that makes any sense.
Zakka, can I come in, please?
Yeah, but your video is gone, Shazia, so I'll fix the video and then I'll come back to you. Mr. NK Singh has been waiting very patiently. NK Singh, the most important thing is, yes, the policy was changed. Did it cause loss to the public exchequer? That's a matter of investigation. But the more important thing is, were proceeds of crime routed back to the public officials who made that policy change? To prove that, how does the CBI prove that?
Well, the investigation has just started, Mr. Zakka. Searches have been conducted. I was just hearing documents have been seized or are being seized.
Yes.
These documents will be scrutinized. You are right. Whether there was, sometimes policy decisions may be taken by the government, which may cause loss to the exchequer, but it may be in the larger interest of the people. So on that basis, we can't come to any particular, that it was a corrupt practice.
Okay.
What is important is, as you have rightly said, whether there was a flow of money from the licensees or whosoever may be, to the concerned people, to the Deputy Chief Minister or to the officials.
Yes.
That has to be found out by the CBI. They have started the investigation and we have to wait, I'm afraid, to come to any reasonable conclusion.
Okay.
I don't mean filing of final report to the court, but at least to be able to discuss whether there was any flow of money, where it is a case of quid pro quo, whether the decision taken by the government or the minister was in public interest, or it was by misusing the official position, and because of that, whether loss was caused to the public exchequer, and the contractor or the license is derived any benefit out of that, it went to him, and then finally, that money flow was there to the officials or to the political authority. All these things will have to be looked into by the CBI.
Shazia,
then only we can...
Final word.
So you had a very important question, Zakka. Where exactly did corruption happen? So let's look at all the aspects of it. Now, when you look at when we look at 144 crores, and we all the AAP spokespersons are saying, where has this figure come? So if you look at all the refunds that Arvind Kejriwal's minister, Manisha Sisodia, who was at the helm of affairs, where this excise policy goes, when he asked the government, when the excise department, to give this refund to all the bidders, and that was not the responsibility of the state, because if they were not able to get the licenses, the airport licenses, and there is a particular license, I can go into the technical categories. Why should the exchequer be charged? Why would he get the state exchequer to pay for the refund to the private lobby, liquor mafia? That's one thing. Second thing, and very important. And now you please understand one thing, that the excise department did something very under Manisha Sisodia's order. Did something, and this is a order. I can give you the date also. 8th of November 2021. Without the approval of competent authority, revise the formula of calculation of rates under foreign exchange and rates of foreign liquor, and remove the levy of import pass fee, which was of ₹50 or whatever per case on beer. That's one. And so foreign liquor became cheaper, and the licenses and the total loss of revenue to the state exchequer became more. So this is typical. I mean, this is regular. Anna Hazare movement. This is exactly what we spoke about.
Okay.
The funny thing
I'm
was
completely
that
out of
Arvind
time.
Kejriwal,
I'm really sorry, but we will continue this discussion at 9 p.m. on Brass Tacks as well. Thank you very much, Shazia, Priyanka, Abhishek, and Mr. Singh. Quick wrap, and then in a moment, Anusha will be joining you with biggest exclusive.